Hey everybody, welcome back to Opportunities Connected. I'm Yemi Jemison,
And I'm Justin Ladson.
and let's get this started. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for another episode of Opportunities Connected. We're going to follow up on some great ways to improve the way we're walking forward. We're all in this together. It's all about growth and positive living and looking at how we can build ourselves going forward. Hey, Justin.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How's everything going?
Oh, man, thank God everything is good. I'm standing today. Heart is beating. I'm breathing. I'll take it.
Love it. Family's good. Kids are good.
That's it, man. That's what it's about. That's what my motivation as soon as I get up. But one of the things that I love is that we like to keep those things in focus because we want to be our better selves. And one of the things that we want to talk about today in today's episode is about going after what you want now.
100%. So one of the concepts or ideas that come to mind is the older we get, the more hesitant we become. Like we start creating barriers that prevent us from doing the things we want. And unfortunately, because of this, like a lot of people stay in the jobs that they don't like, they stay in the relationships that they don't like, or they don't give their kids the things that they know that their kids deserve because of every excuse underneath the sun. So I believe today we are going to break down how can we change that? How can we really go after what we want now?
That's right. That's right. I like that you brought that up. There's so many things that, when we watch kids, we see them just open and free. I remember when my son was like 2 years old, he's playing in the backyard and he just picked up a pile of like bugs because he wasn't worried about those things and he didn't hold back. And I know today, like there's so many things that we won't stick our hand in the bush. Of course, there are some things that are healthy respect that you have. Where, of course, you see a snake, don't go near the snake. But you also don't want to allow some fears that are built up out of nothing to prevent you from moving forward. For instance, April Fool's Day is coming up. And a lot of people don't want to schedule things on April Fool's Day because they're associated with, April Fool's Day. Oh, this could be jinx. When those suspicions could stand in your way of growth.
100%. So we're going to lay out what are some strategic ways we can go after what we want. Let's not just we want to act like kids and just go after what we want, but we need to put the brake pedals down and really organize our success. So that's what we're break down today.
That's right. Without planning, there is no plan.
100%. And people nowadays and I absolutely love this, by the way, it's a compliment to the new generation, is that they're so motivated. There's so many motivational videos left and right.
Yes.
People who never became a professional speaker, it doesn't matter. They're making their own motivational videos, but motivation without action is just motivation. So let's create success. Let's really lay it out.
And one thing, that I think you're about to talk about that I love is like, how do you organize how you're getting to your executive goals? Talking about reverse engineering and backwards planning.
100%. So let's pretend we did not understand the concept of reverse engineering. And for those who don't know what that means, you're in luck because we're going to really dive into what we believe reverse engineering is all about. Let's say you want to work a brand new job and it pays the bills, but what's the end game? So you're working this job and you have no end game. So now you just become, I wake up, I go to work, it pays the bills, but you become in the rat race, sort of say. You don't really have a end point. So reverse engineering is when you say, in 5 years, this is where I see myself.
That's right.
And then we're going to work backwards. What are the things you need to do to be in that position? What does somebody in that position have? What do they read? What's the ladder? What's the roadmap of getting there?
That's right.
I'm going to let you do that.
No, you're absolutely right. Whenever I'm talking with anyone I've had the great opportunity to mentor, or even when I've been mentored, a part of reaching those goals is looking at having a destination. What is my goal, and what's the time period between now and that goal, whether it's a year or 5 years or even 10 years. A lot of people even talk about, okay, where do you see yourself when you retire? Now, there might be some folks who haven't even thought that far, but they're just like, you know what? I want to get to a place where I own a car. Well, I want to get to a place where I have my own home. And so how do you set up that path? So if I'm looking at, the way things are in my life right now, and I want to get a home, and I want to set like a realistic goal. What's the average amount of time for it to take to get a home? But forget average across many fields, but like, how long do I think it will take for me to get a home, and then set a goal? So maybe I'm caught up in some of you know, my fears, or like I'm too busy, or maybe I won't make this. I have to push past that and say, I'd like to own a home within 2 to 5 years. So I
Exactly.
set that goal. Now, between now and those 2 years, what are the steps I need to take to make sure I can own a home?
Exactly. And reverse engineering will also make sure your ideas make sense.
Yeah.
So for those who want to quit a job and open a business,
Right.
if you just jump out and open a business, how are you going to pay your bills,
Right.
So reverse engineering allows you to know the timeline that's perfect for you to leave your job, the timeline where you'll be making X, Y, and Z dollars. So reverse engineering is saying this, right? Let's say I want to open a cleaning company. My goal is to pay myself $100,000 a year with a cleaning company. Then you have to figure out what are the prices you're going to charge per house.
Right.
Then you're going to figure out how many houses does it take to get you to that $100,000. But you also got to remember there's expenses, fixed costs.
Right.
So then reverse engineering also allows you to write down what are my costs.
Yeah.
How many more houses do I need to bring on? And even better, when can I bring a team on
Right.
to make sure I can hit that goal and still have the freedom to live my life? Because a lot of people, and I was guilty of that, I was working like 12-hour days when I first opened my business, is we left a job to go to a job that we were creating.
Right.
And that's not, in my opinion, the definition of being an entrepreneur. It's giving us freedom and allowing your team to do what they do best.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
Reversing, yep.
And to your point, I know a lot of people will think, okay, well, I don't know how to do those things. I know what I want to do. I know that I'm good at doing that. I know that I'm good at organizing. There's so many resources available now that weren't available before, and you can hop on. I know people, it's almost a saying now, you can hop on YouTube for everything, for anything. I personally learned how to build a barn door from YouTube, but still using the discretion, and it's pretty clear. You can hop on, you can learn find out what tools you need in order to get to that place, whether or not you're learning to be an entrepreneur. That, say, if you're doing the cleaning thing, okay, how many other cleaning services are out there? What's the average price that they charge? If they're charging $125 for 2 hours, maybe I can charge $100 for 2 hours and make myself a competitive person in this field.
Or you're going to say, what is the value I'm going to give that company does not give, so I can charge my premium prices?
That's right.
The best one in the market.
That's right. That's right. And that's the other side of that. It's like, you don't want to just come in to just be the cheaper or the more affordable option. You want to come in to be the only option that provides what you have. You are the product. You are, the brand for that product. Whether or not you're going for that new home or you're going to become an entrepreneur, it's looking at, okay, do I need to learn a few things more? Should I educate myself in business management? Should I educate myself in taxes? And there's a lot of courses you can take that are free now, rather than having to spend all your money up front on things. And as time goes on, you can continue to educate yourself. But it's a part of building out that reverse engineering. And I know it sounds like a lot of work initially. You're like, I don't have time for that. But think about the return, what you put in right now and what it will bring back to you later. Imagine being in a place where you put in that work and you were able to successfully reach that goal. And it's helpful also when you do that map backwards, you can easily help like plan out so that it doesn't really like knock into your time so much.
100%. And either you're going to put in the work on yourself in your own business or your own new career journey or your own house, or you're going to put in the work being frustrated and not satisfied where you are. So the work is going to happen. It's your decision where you're going to have that work play out.
That's right. That's
I
right.
100% believe you should always bet on yourself. 100%.
That's
And
right.
as you were talking about like finding YouTubes, success leaves clues. That's one thing that I've really, really like noticed, and like I become almost a detective searching for these clues.
Right.
When you watch YouTube videos, you start hearing the author talking about my mentor, this name, or
Yeah.
I read this book, and then there's that clue, and then you just purchase that book yourself or YouTube their mentor or whatever name they bring up. Audible is my absolute secret weapon.
That's right. Audible is so awesome.
Some people love to read. Buy the books. If you don't love to read, if you're always on the go or you have kids hanging on your legs every like left and right, your own children, buy Audible because you can still get that novel, that learning journey.
That's right. And it's so worth it. And it's so worth it. And there's a lot of tools you can use out there to help you move forward in terms of whether or not you can take the time to read or even listen to it. You'll be able to make that time, whether it's 15 to 30 minutes a day, to get that information to your head. What are some of the things that keep us from waiting? You know what I mean?
That is a beautiful question. So fear. Why do we have fear? What are we afraid of? The most important thing for me is losing everything that I believed I built myself up to.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I got what I got was I took the chances by betting on myself.
Right.
So I believe not having the tools or believing we don't have the tools, because we just named a whole bunch of free ways of getting tools, and believing that what if we're not good enough?
Right. Learning to trust yourself, learning to trust that you'll make the time to follow through. And we all get it. Life happens. There's a lot of things that we may not account for, but if you schedule it out, if you make sure you have it in play, it'll help keep you honest. And then move towards taking the steps to learning to trust yourself, because I know that without that trust, it builds that fear. And with that fear, it builds that hesitation. And sometimes people are afraid of conflict. And we're not talking about conflict, somebody throwing across a table or anything like that. I'm talking about being able to be self-assertive and being able to stick up for yourself in a situation where you want to make your points clear, even to yourself.
100.
Even those moments where you're like, I'm just, tired. I just took a long ride on the public transportation or took a long drive and dealt with a lot of traffic. Start recognizing your daily rituals ahead of time and see what things you can change to fit in those moments of time where you can get some things accomplished. Like, I know I might have to leave by a certain time and may have to face, riding into the city, so on and so forth. So maybe I set up ahead of time, or on a day where it's not that busy, that space of time where I need to get that work done. And that way it takes away some of that frustration. It takes away some of that anxiety of not being able to get it done. And you hit it right on the head. Sometimes that fear is built up off of that anxiety of being like, well, what if I can't? But you'll never know if you don't do.
Yeah, let me give you guys a tool that like maximizes your production. Whether you have an iPhone or Android, there's a magical thing called an iCalendar, or a calendar on your phone.
Yeah.
Plug in the things you need to do and plug in the time that you want it to be done.
Yeah.
Set an alarm. So you're no longer having to think about 100,000 things, and you're probably still working your current job.
Yeah.
So when that alarm goes off, I said it at 12 p.m., I'm doing this event from this time to this time. I didn't have to think about that. My phone went off 30 minutes ahead of time, and now
That's
I'm
right.
full on game mode.
That's right.
I used to try to carry everything on my shoulders. I had to try to remember every appointment, every private lesson, every mentorship session, and I was wearing myself out.
Yeah.
So having a calendar, and a lot of people love like handheld, like where they can just write it in.
That's
I
right.
highly recommend you guys to keep up with the times, because when it's on your cell phone
Yeah.
and the alarm can go off,
Yeah.
you truly don't have to think about it until it's that time.
Right. That's absolutely right. And if you are still that type of person that wants to write things down, that's good. Write it down, but follow it up with putting it in your digital calendar. Whether or not you like us, we like that. I love that iCalendar, but some folks love the Google Calendar. It's a great calendar. Some people like
Any
Outlook,
calendar.
Microsoft. Just book it. Just put
Hey,
it in.
look, if you are still that person that's writing down all your appointments in your calendar, that's cool. But you better set your digital watch to go off at like 4 p.m. Like, take things off, take stress out of your life is what
That's
we're
right.
talking about here.
Right.
A lot of people don't achieve their true happiness in life because of stress. Because what if I can't? Well, it's
That's
time
right.
to take things off of our plate that we don't want to do and focus on the things that we want to do.
That's right. That's right.
And then I follow that up with a question for you.
and
For you, right?
yeah.
If you didn't start this podcast, like you didn't want to do a podcast, if you did not go after the things you want in life, how would your life be in the next like 3 to 4 years or even 10 years?
That's right. What a valuable question. What a great question. Like if I didn't take the action to just move forward, I wouldn't have seen the positive change in myself. And so to me, it's like it's worth it. It's like trading the space. I want to get rid of that anxiety of wishing and hoping and dreaming and not following through, because sometimes you'll be sitting there, you say, oh, I can do that. Oh, I wish I could do this, and not follow through with it. And that kind of builds up, that weight builds up. Whereas following through on it and doing it and seeing the reward of it puts you in such a much more positive space. I'll tell you, had I not done it 2 or 3 years from now, I'd be wishing I had done it. And then that builds up. And who knows how that will stand in the way of my next goal or thing I'd love to achieve at that period in time.
And Yemi, hear me out on this, right? Every time you see me, how's my mood?
Up. Every time I see you, your mood is up and you're ambitious and you're ready to go.
This is a funny question that my wife told me. Every time somebody talks to my wife, they're like, is your husband always that happy? Like, how does somebody have that much energy?
That's
right.
And
you know why? Because I don't hold back. If I want something, I need to give it my 100%.
That's
and
it.
I'm okay with failing.
Yeah.
I'm okay with what if it doesn't work out. I'd rather have that than, oh, I wish I got that black belt, or
and that's just it. You hit the nail right there. You cannot succeed if you're afraid to fail. And one of the things I've learned across the board from you, from so many other great leaders in the community, from CEOs to directors, that they said one of the things they had to get past is that fear of failure. Just get past it. Move it to the side. It's not even allowed. It's not something that should be in the room with you. You're going to accept that, yeah, failure is going to happen. That's fine. But making a decision, moving forward is what you want to do. Aim for that goal.
This is one thing that my company does, right? I love football. So we put it in a football setting, right?
Right.
There's 12 months of the year, so we have 12 games in the year. If we have goals that we need to hit every single month, if we don't hit that goal, we're 0-1.
Right.
If we hit that goal, we're now 1-1. For the majority of the year, our goal is to have a positive record. And then if you look at football, we want to have even great record.
That's it.
You know? So it's like, we may fail. Like, it's not be afraid to fail, but you're not going to hit bullseye every single month.
Right.
You have to know that, it's going to be tight financially. It's going to be tight this or that. prepare for that.
That's it.
Prepare for your bad days to the point where we know which months are our slower months. So we're building up months prior to that. We're tripling our goals to make sure we can offset those slow months, because it is what it is. Like, we can do everything underneath the sun. The only thing we can do that can guarantee like everybody shows up is if we give everybody $1 million that comes in the door. Hey, you come to class, here's $1 million. Clearly, we're not going to do that. So we know we're going to have bad months.
Right. I like how you said you just don't hold back. And so a part of one of the things I like in seeing that is you trusting yourself. And a part of getting to a place where you trust yourself is understanding that, you know, I love myself. These are the things that, you know, this is the way that I am, and I accept that, and I love that, and this is what I'm going to push forward. This is the quality that I bring to the circle. And a part of that is also understanding the things that come with life. One of the things I love to do before I plan out anything is I look at the whole year. I plan out each month. What are the things that are going to happen yearly in each of the month that I know are going to happen ahead of time? Because it's hard to plan for the things that don't happen. You know what I mean? I mean, that just kind of come out of nowhere. You can't predict those things. They're unpredictable. But there's certain things, you know, that are always going to happen every year, and put those things in so that you're already prepped for those. And then put your full self forward. Lean in. And so when you do hit those things that are unpredictable, that you can't, you know, you can't necessarily prepare for, you'll already be in a better place because you're only focused on, okay, how do I react to this? Because I've already been proactive on all of the other things. I don't have to like work on this pile of things that I know now I haven't had a chance to prepare for. I can just focus on, okay, what's this issue right here? How do I deal with it? How do I manage it and not allow it to become a roadblock?
And that goes back to my point earlier. For you to give 100% of yourself on that challenge, you can't be thinking about other things.
No.
Plug it in your phone, set an alarm, and don't think about it. Like, your phone's your own personal assistant. You can literally, hey Siri, the whole like, hey Siri, put this in my calendar, and it's done. Your own personal assistant. I'm trying to make sure my Siri doesn't go off.
I know, I was thinking the same thing.
My Siri works overtime. Like,
she
gets like her money's worth.
Because
she knows that when something comes up, I don't have to handle it right then and there.
Right.
I'm going to schedule it and handle it when I'm ready to handle it. So for those who are afraid of, what if I want to do my own adventure? What if I want to switch jobs because I'm not getting paid what I'm getting paid? Schedule it, reverse engineer it.
Right.
Like, prepare for the worst days, prepare for the worst months.
Right.
You're going to be okay. And the last thing I want to add, right?
Yeah.
Is mindset is key. And if you feel like you don't have a strong mindset, I strongly urge you to research a live event that you can go to. Like a Tony Robbins, a John Maxwell. Like, these events, you are going to see CEOs at this event, 100%.
Yeah.
I would almost bet anything that if you go to a well-recognized mindset event, if you don't see a CEO, I'm done with the podcast.
Yeah.
No, everybody in my circle.
I can already tell you now, you will. You definitely will. And another thing is also recognizing some of the things in your life. You know, and this is the last thing I'll put in, because we want you to start thinking about where you see yourself in 5 years. And start to plan towards it, to being your best self. But one of the things that I remember paying attention to is looking at, you know, in those instances where I've gone and seen those speeches, or in instances where you look at the things that help improve your life, my health, my physical health, like, drastically impacts my mental health and my spiritual health. So one of the things that I tried to lean into is making the time to be physically healthy. And I know, oh my God, for everybody, we're busy, life is in the way, but make that a part of it. Like Justin was just saying, put it in your calendar, make it the time. Like, the first step is just getting to it. Whether you're doing a 30-minute walk, you know, walk up the street, walk back down the street, You can start with 15 and then stretch it out to 30, but start making that a regular part of your life. You wouldn't believe the impact that has on you being able to follow through on things, your behavior towards the people in your community, and including your family. Your approach to things will even change just from starting to address that. Even your approach to how you eat is impacted drastically by your physical health. I started working out with Justin, and he showed me some ways of how I can improve my physical stature. And now when I look at that ice cream, to me, I'm like, nah, I gotta save that for a night that's really worth it. I don't want to throw away all the work I just did for a scoop of ice cream.
Yeah, we're not telling you to get rid of your ice cream.
Oh, no.
I love ice cream. But what you are in one aspect of your life, you are in all aspects of your life. So if you're unhealthy, but you think you're succeeding in business, are you really? So like, you got to make this a life change. You got to put in a 10-minute yoga session will change your life, but it won't add too much to your day. You know what I mean? So I concur with you 1000%.
Yeah.
Fitness, the way you eat. I'm not saying get rid of the things you love.
No. And I use ice cream as an example because that's
I'm agreeing with you 100%.
It's easy for me to turn down Snickers, but ice cream, ooh.
Yeah, I know there's some people watching this video like, you ain't taking my ice cream. So for those of you who are yelling at Yemi that passed by, no, keep your ice cream, but maybe dial it down. Maybe or if I achieve this level of success, I get an ice cream.
Hey,
if I work out 5 days a week, I get this as a win.
That's it. That's it right there. That's it right there.
Your kids are going to watch you go after what you want in life.
They're
going to watch you fall down from time to time and get back up. And when they fall, hey, mom and dad fell. They got back up. So can I. People said I wouldn't be able to achieve this. They also told my parents that, and they went and they got it.
That's right. They didn't allow it to stand in their way. If you guys like what you're seeing, like what you're hearing, definitely make sure you hit the like button on this. Make sure you subscribe. Turn on the notification so you know when the next episode is there. We have a new episode each week, and then another additional episode every 2 weeks. We thank you guys for joining us here at Opportunities Connected. I'm Yemi Griot.
And I'm Justin Ladson.
And thanks again for joining us, people. Talk to you soon.